Tanami Roadside Zoo, the Outback Comeback. We are unlocking the golden kangaroo statue on easy. 1 hour 15, my best time is 1 hour 4. I think we beat that, if I recall correctly. Not 100% sure, but I think we just skimmed through it. Really tricky, this one. There is a strategy to it. It's not just throw animals at it and hope it works. You do have to kind of approach this in the right way, which is a different change. Here we go, loading into the zoo. I really like this zoo actually. It's not somewhere I would go in real life, but it's nice. First things first, pause the game. Let's read our objectives. Have at least 8 different habitat species in the zoo. Have 3 different exhibit species in the zoo. Overall welfare of 85. 5 new habitat animals. One animal to a 5-star rating. And for some bizarre reason, I've just gone ahead completely. Delete all the structures what don't have buildings in them. And you're also going to want to get rid of all the toxic barrels. They do cost a lot to get rid of, but they add to the heat and have some negative effects. Get rid of that little area there. And then in here, you're going to put a few little sort of staff facilities. So you want a water temperature regulator. Make sure it covers the flamingos and that other little lake at the side. A keeper hut and a staff room. Then you're going to want a drinks stand, a food stand, just moving the bin there, getting rid of some of these plants. Take out a loan, 20,000, set repayment to max. Change your ticket price to $8. You're going to want to buy an additional American bison, a male preferably. Doesn't matter whether it's conservation credits or money. I prefer conservation credits. 2 koalas, again, preferably male and female. Can have more than 1 female with a koala, but just easy to manage. Kangaroos, again, just make sure their social requirements are met. I tend to go for a male and 3 females, if I recall correctly. And I do accidentally get some inbreeding in this one, so that's a boo-boo. And saltwater crocodile, male and a female. So, first things first, replace everything, what's been vandalised, set your education, and change all but the viewing walls to an opaque fence type, like brick or wood. And then make sure the habitats meet the animals' requirements. So enrichment, foliage, terrain, shelter, food, water, all that jazz. You need to make sure the animals have all of it. So here I'm just putting down the cassowaries enrichment, and they've got hard shelter now as well, and they need foliage. So these palms I moved earlier on, they get moved in, and I just titivate the habitat a little bit, which is one of my favourite words at the moment. Titivate. So you see they still need some coverage, so I put down some bamboo just to sort of create lines of sight and such. Get rid of the shipping containers except the one that's got the chief beef in it. I think it's chief beef anyway. Speakers are important. Same again, all but the viewing wall. change to an opaque material. Just changing the terrain for the bison. Again, enrichment, food, water, etc. So here I copy or try to copy the Habitat Education Board. Just do the same for the flamingos and the same for the cassowary. Put your speaker down. Change the range. I copy it and put it on the other one as well. Have some trouble clicking it though because I've submerged it into the ground. And again, the range. Just make sure they don't overlap. Get rid of those posts. We're going to be building a habitat there in just a short while. I already know from playing this a few times, but the flamingos don't have enough water access, so just expand that habitat for the flamingos. Put their enrichment in. And I have to expand the habitat again for the shelter, because I can't fit that in the habitat as it is. That's not a problem. Again, same story, but here there's no power at the end, so I can't actually put that board in, so I just get rid of it. Make sure everything's fine for the flamingos. So they need some different terrain. Same story again. Put your speakers in. Change the staff room to rec room. I only did this for the one staff room. I should have done it for the other one, but I haven't. This bit's important. Hire 5 to 6 cleaners, 5 to 6 keepers, 4 vendors, 3 mechanics, 1 security, and a vet. And later on we're going to hire an educator. Here, create a nice habitat. Doesn't have to be massive, but something. For the koala, what we bought earlier on. And then next to it, create the saltwater crocodile habitat. I do have Kyodenics free build mod, so I am able to get the barriers a bit closer to the paths than those who are playing without it, but other than that I don't do anything that you can't do at home, which is presumably why you play Planet Zoo. So you can see here the water cleanliness is at 100%, but the water filter doesn't quite touch it, as you just saw there. Putting the enrichment in for the saltwater crocodile, move the saltwater crocodiles in, and add your education and donation. Extend this path all the way around to meet up with the cassowary path, and then all I do is just give the cassowaries some more room because they're big birds. Get rid of all of that. Again, same for the koala. Add enrichment. You are going to have to do some research, for the koala to unlock the tree feeders. Move the koalas in. Hope you're enjoying this koala-tea content. Cringe. So koalas are in. We set the education boards. Same for the saltwater croc. Change their terrain. Speed time up a bit, get some money flowing in. Change the terrain for the koala. They do need some hard shelter, which I didn't think they did. So we wait until we get some money coming in for that. Donation bins for the koalas. The koala. So next to the cassowaries, build a kangaroo habitat. And I just change all the viewing to steel mesh, I think it is, yeah. Add some staff access at the back here. Had some issues with the path. Does seem to happen with the free build mod, but it's better to have it than to not. Add in some food and enrichment for the koala. Just take out a 5k loan. You'll pay that off in no time. And the usual, say it every time, donation, education. And your speakers as well. I don't put a speaker on the fourth one because there's going to be another habitat next door and I don't want it to interfere with that. Just placing some nice long grass to make the kangaroos happy. And there we go. So we now need to build a research center, is what I think I do next. Yes, it is. Build a research center and start researching the koalas, because you're going to need the tree feeder. Over near the entrance, place some conservation boards. Boosts education and makes guests more likely to spend money. Because having a profit is part of this scenario. pay off your 5k loan. Just checking out shop profit, yearly profit. Vet research is complete. Place some more conservation and donation, education and donation, sorry, for the cassowary. And I go ahead and change their viewing windows, or the viewing wall rather, into mesh, because it lasts longer than chain link. Just waiting now. So over here, place a couple of recycling bins around the zoo, just to help the cleaners out so they are overbed, but it also helps you with your conservation credits, which I like as well, especially as you're expanding the roadside zoo. You can really start to add a more economical alternative to the traditional bins. Galapagos tortoise. Buy a tortoise, and we're going to put it opposite the kangaroos. Now, I am outside of the power grid here, so I have to add a generator behind the habitat. Just adding some staff access there. Change the viewing walls to steel mesh. Move your tortoise in. Add your donation bins. Make it suitable for the tortoise. Yep, no power as you can see. So we don't have solar panels, so all I can afford is a generator. I just plonk it at the back there. Connect that all up. Get the shelter for the tortoise and the terrain. Like so. We do get a female tortoise as well. I think we end up getting 2 female tortoises. So they need a good shelter requirement. We've now unlocked the tree feeders for the koalas. So we can now get rid of the research centre. Hire 2 vendors, 3 keepers, and some of your staff will have a reduced pay rate. Increase that so that they're on par with everyone else. Train your vendors. Change your ticket price. Now over here you're going to want to build 3 exhibits. Just near the cassowaries is the best place I found for them. And you're going to want to go for desert exhibit animals. So I go for the Gila monster, the eastern brown snake, and the death adder, I think it is. Adding the education to the exhibit. Is that the Gila monster? Then I go for the eastern brown snake. That'll do me nicely. Changing everything to make the snakes more suitable. To make the environment more suitable for the snakes. Sorry, I can't speak today. And over here is the Death Adder. Of course, their research is already done. So next then, I get my first female Galapagos tortoise. And then next to the kangaroo, I want to delete the research centre and fill that area with a habitat for the aardvark, which does have a couple of stress issues, but I do manage to more or less keep a handle on it. It's really difficult getting an aardvark because I get this female, and then a little while later I do manage to get a higher rated male, and they do have offspring. Same as usual, it's all about education, donation. Wait for the aardvark to arrive. Change the ticket price. As always, I increment in multiples of 2. Place your donation bins. And then over here, wouldn't select that for some reason, so I have to select it that way. You're going to want to place some shops. I'm going to go ahead and place a path connecting back around to flamingos. So you need some more shops for the shop profit, and that also contributes to the yearly profit, which is exactly what I'm going to do now. So I put, I think, everything in here. So food, drink, merchandise, toilets. Do a marketing campaign, 5,000. So I'm looking for an orangutan or a mandrill. I do end up getting a mandrill, but it's a fair wait, and it's hit and miss whether you get what you want, because the orangutan is already fully researched, so you won't need to do any further research for them. So they're really good ones to have. But again, it's hit and miss whether you get it or not. Here I was looking at alternatives to the orangutan. Just decided to get a flamingo, help bring some more guests in. Put some benches down, it's always a good idea. Something got ticked off there. That was the yearly profit and shop profit. Snakes had some babies, so we'll release some of them to the wild. And when other animals mature, release them to the wild too. I nearly got dingo, but I do end up with a mandrill in the end. Yep, I managed to get that one. Yeah, I go for that one. I mean, 405 conservation credits for an aardvark is ridiculous. But I needed an aardvark. So, that's what I had to do. Over here, I am about to change the bison habitat. So make the front mesh, and then I extend it. So at first, yeah, the aardvarks are stressed, so I fill that one in, and then I put some screening plants down. However, they don't really seem to do much. Change the terrain. Yeah, put some screening plants down, but just didn't really do anything. So I only have the 1 animal to 5 star and 1,400 guests left. Here we go. So now I extend the bison habitat, because otherwise this space is just going to go to waste, so might as well let the bison use it. And all they need is a little bit of a terrain adjustment, and they need some more enrichment. So I give them the enrichment they need and their temperature. So put some coolers in and set it for about 10 or 15. I've gone for 15. Just something what the bison are more comfortable with. Checking again for mandrill, and again for bony orangutan. I think that's the mandrill I go with. Here's a second female tortoise. Get rid of some of the grown-up flamingos. Yeah, it was that kangaroo what I didn't manage to get in time before there was an inbreeding, but never mind. Release the cassowary. Yeah, and I'm just checking again. That's the mandrill I go for. So over here, behind the bison and next to the other shops that you placed, just I created a fairly large mandrill habitat because I thought I'd need a few, but I didn't. In the end, it turns out I only needed the one. Move the mandrill in. Pimp the habitat for the mandrill's needs. Pop some plants in. If you can, try and place some trees what are climbable as well, because that will count towards its climbing enrichment need. And then you're going to want to place your torque point. Got some habitat boards, education boards, your donation bins as usual. Hire an educator. And there's no power over here, so I put a wind turbine just round the back. Connect that up to the path. Hire your educator. Adjust your guest price. And there we go. Gold has been achieved. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye for now.